I pretended to be a blind man begging outside a temple. My income was 3 times higher than my previous job. When crossing the street, people kindly helped me. I even got to live in a government apartment for free because of my blind status. But when I started using my pianist identity to play in people's homes, no one ever suspected a blind man. So I often ended up seeing the private lives of many wealthy women. What I didn't expect was that pretending to be blind would become the biggest regret of my life. That day I went to perform piano for a rich man's wife as usual, but when she opened the door, she refused to let me in and said I got the time wrong. I had already taken the deposit, and there was a big payment waiting after the show. There was no way I could be mistaken. Our argument got loud enough for the neighbors to notice. The woman looked nervous and quickly let me inside to avoid attention. After confirming that I really was blind, she relaxed and let me play the piano, but not long after I started playing, I froze in shock because there was a dead body lying in the living room, and I finally realized why she didn't want me to come in. I couldn't show any sign of fear, so I calmly asked to use the bathroom. I thought I could take a breath and calm down in there, but the bathroom turned out to be even more terrifying. The killer was hiding behind me with a gun in his hand. I didn't dare to move, afraid he'd realize I wasn't really blind. Luckily, he didn't suspect a thing. When I walked back through the living room, I saw clearly that the corpse was the rich man who hired me. I was terrified inside, but I forced myself to stay calm and keep playing. The woman pretended to call her husband and told me he'd be home in 10 minutes. Then right in front of me, they started dealing with the body. The man stuffed it into a suitcase, while the wife stood by the door pretending to welcome her husband home. Then she played an old voice recording of her husband and pretended to have a conversation with him right in front of me. After a few lines, she said he had to step out for urgent business. The man put on the rich man's clothes and dragged the suitcase out of the house. Once they were gone, I rushed to the police station. I told the officer I wanted to report a murder, but the moment I finished speaking, I saw the man from the bathroom. He was standing there wearing a police uniform. My whole body started shaking with panic. I quickly changed my story saying it was just my cat that had been killed, but he clearly didn't believe me. He had just killed the rich man, and I was the only witness pretending to be blind, so he started to suspect that I could see. To test his theory, he decided to drive me home himself.
Subscribe for more, like, and comment.